Before the world sees your wins, your soul has to feel your work. It's the reps nobody applauds that produce the wins that do, all through a shifting of your identity into a dominator. This is all done in the dark every single day. So let me be your guide as I welcome you to this episode of the Dark Work Daily.
You're not being realistic, you're being safe. I know it's one of these things, it's like this weapon that submitters wield. The problem is not that it's the word itself, it's the fact that you can throw it out there and let it be a thing that you can lean on. See, realistic I found is like it's a preemptive disqualification. It's the ability to go in and say that, I'm trying, but it's just not realistic to do this. And so what happens is you disqualify the goal before you even pursue it. You don't move towards, you don't make anything. And so what happens is you put yourself in a position where you know what's going to happen. You risk failing. You risk looking stupid. So what you do is you just don't go forward. So the truth of it is, it's not that there's a way to navigate things differently. It's that these people, they show up to situations and go, well, it's not realistic for this to take place. It's not realistic for that to take place. Realistic is not the conversation we're having. We're talking about having something real and amazing in life. If you want something real and amazing, realistic doesn't usually fit in the picture. Here's an example. When I was getting into my college football career, I got to Oregon, and I was a guy who was a freshman. Just went out there, right? Now, there was two guys, I think, myself, just the two of us, myself and Haloti Nana, that decided we were not going to redshirt, we were going to play. So redshirt means essentially like you just choose to go to a team and then you're going to go play after a year of practicing and preparing, and then you'll play that next year. I didn't redshirt. I was like, I want to play now. So I got in the field. I was doing special teams and everything. Now, hindsight, I probably should have not redshirted, but that's not the conversation we're having. So I get to this situation where I go, all right, cool, did a whole redshirt year. The next year, it's my sophomore year. True sophomore year is a fifth-year senior at my position at linebacker. And I'm going to meet my father. I found my biological father through a kind of a turn of events that was very interesting. And I was going to meet him the very first game this next season. And I wanted to make sure when I met him, I wasn't sitting on the bench watching somebody else play. So I went to my coaches. I go, Coach, man, I'm going to meet my dad next year at Mississippi State in August game, and I want to make sure that I'm starting. They go, what do I got to do to start? And my coach, DP, goes, that's not your job. I go, yeah, but if I wanted to start and I wanted to play over this guy, what would I do? He goes, I'm telling you, it's not your job. That's Dave's job. It's Dave's fifth and final year here on this team. That's Dave's position. I go, I get that, but what would I have to do to take Dave's job to have it be my position? He goes, a few things. One, he goes, you got to be very, very clear that I got to be able to walk into the coach's room, like the main head coach, and he doesn't laugh me out of the room. Second, I have to trust you. Like, I got to make sure I trust you. It's got to be a big piece of it. Says third, your teammates got to trust you. I got to know that if I put you out there, those men on the field with you are going to be able to be confident that they can go into battle with you and you can be successful there. So I go, let's do it. Like, and that was my mentality. I had this one thought in my head of like, I need to get this done. And I actually had to do things that were not in the wheelhouse of anything I knew. Take action in ways I've never taken action. Cut things off. Like, if it didn't help me start, I did not do it. Here's the thing. It was not realistic. Teammates did not believe it was going to happen. Dave didn't think it was going to happen. I did. Unrealistic as you can imagine, I believed it was a possibility. So I poured into it. I got up every day early. I was out there doing weight room stuff, lifting routes, watching film. I had to get bigger. My body needed to get bigger by like 15, 20 pounds. I went to work and show up the next year. We played Mississippi State. I meet my dad. We played national television. We win the game. My first collegiate start, I beat him. And I got a game ball from that game. Now, realistic is something that if I'd have leaned on realistic, I wouldn't have this reality. I wouldn't have had this experience of life. I wouldn't have beat him out for a job. Because realistic is something that I even back then did not believe made sense for me. Why am I going to live a realistic life? Who's ever said, you know what, my life's been amazing. It's been the most realistic life in the world. Nobody. The most amazing, fun, joyous lives are the ones where you lean into something that doesn't make sense. An unrealistic experience, an unrealistic situation that you forge a sense of confidence in because you're going through the process nobody else is willing to, because everyone else is waiting for the realistic portion, the thing that makes sense. The best things in life that we all experience were never realistic. No one told somebody, hey, I'm going to make a whole social media platform that's going to be called Facebook. Oh, that's not real. Matter of fact, a lot of guys were invited to that room in Harvard with Zuckerberg to sit there and hear about it. And a lot of guys didn't show up. Every single one that did, billionaires. Not an accident. They took an unrealistic route and followed an unrealistic idea to create something that has been world-changing, quite literally. Good or bad, different conversation. But think about this. People have these ideas of being realistic, and it's like, for us, I think There's got to be these ideas when it comes to career pivots or your relationships with people, whatever it is there's got to be an idea that you realize that fear is learned. Fear is learned through the conversations people have about what's realistic and what's not realistic. And you have to sound responsible in life. So let's say this could be real. And I go, I get that. Let's sound responsible, but I don't want to sound responsible if I have to sound responsible in a life I don't love, in a career that I hate, in a business that is non-existent because I chose the realistic route. And I don't know who you are, what your experience of life is, or what you want. But I'm going to tell you this, the dream you have of something beyond what you have now is going to come because you choose to step into a space that is not realistic to anybody, a vision that only your brain can see. And when you have something like that, your job is not to shut it up or try to convince people of the vision. They cannot see it. Your job is to go and live this thing out and make it real so that they don't have to have an internal vision. Their vision can see it now. The light that you want to live is very doable. But you have to first see it, then create it and go. And you cannot follow the path of the average man or woman because that path's the realistic path that statistically never leads to where you want it to be. So, my friend, stop living this idea of being realistic and being safe. Step out on faith and create something.
If this episode stirred something in you, good. That means there's work to be done. Don't ignore it because listening is just the beginning. Because real change happens when you engage and you commit. So I invite you to join the Dark Work community inside the Dark Work app, which is where you communicate with amazing people on the same journey as you. You can find it on the App Store and the Google Play Store right now. Step into the conversations that sharpen your habits, strengthen your identity, and keep you locked in to the Dark Work.